Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers and we're here to broadcast the Formula Renault Australian Championship from Phillip Island in Australia here. And I'd like to introduce my co-host Luke Hamilton. Hi Luke, it's a huge field we've got out there tonight.
Yeah, Bernie, plenty of drivers tried out to get into this top split tonight, and we've heard from the host that there was over 90 cars for the splits, so yeah, it should be a good field and all separated within a second, I believe.
Yeah, well, the top 49 drivers were all separated by 1 second, so that's 1 second from 49th all the way up to pole, so it's going to be close. And we've got two splits of 49 drivers in each, so it's going to be huge out there, and it's going to be interesting to see if the broadcast can broadcast all 49 at once. But we've got 4 minutes to the start of the race, folks, so let's look at this weather. It's very windy out there, which you expect from Phillip Island. Wind speed is 48 kilometres an hour with a track temp 33 degrees Celsius, and it's clear skies, so it looks like the ocean's whipping up the breeze there a bit.
Yeah, it always seems to be pretty strong down here, Bernie, and can have a big effect on some of the cars, especially the V8 supercars with such a large surface area. And these lightweight little open wheelers might have a bit of trouble too if they get a bit of a headwind coming down the straight as well.
Yeah, well, that's something to keep an eye on, that's for sure. And I don't know about you, Luke, I'm a bit nervous about this start, and we've seen what Spa brought us. There was a lot of chaos, so let's hope these guys get a clean start here tonight, or else we could be pretty busy.
Yeah, well, definitely with that many cars, Bernie, if we have a bit of trouble up front, then we can look for all sorts of drama further on in the pack with cars trying to avoid each other. And as we've seen over the last few weeks, though, these cars are pretty sturdy little things when they have a bit of contact, so they're not as fragile as some of the other open wheelers on the iRacing server. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, we saw a bit of wheel-to-wheel banging action last time, didn't we? And they seemed to get away with it. So we'll see how they go tonight anyway. But we've got a A-class field here once again. We've got some big names in there tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, along with a few regulars that we've been seeing front runners. And but as we saw last week, even if you're a front runner, you can have some misfortunes if you let these cars get away with it. So yeah, it should be a good race, and there's no certainties in these as we've seen over the last few weeks, Bernie.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It's you know, if you're going to choose anywhere to start in a pack of 49, I think you'd want to be up the front somehow. Mid pack to back of the pack here, it's going to be luck of the draw on how well these guys get through the first few corners, especially when they come down into Honda corner there for the first time. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that seems to be a big bottleneck on this track, and after a fairly long couple of corners there through Stoner corner and before that the Southern Loop, that double left-hander, it's going to be pretty hard to fit all those cars through there in one go, and they're just going to have to be pretty sensible because that corner narrows quite a bit on the exit. So not a lot of runoff either. Well, there is, but it's only grass, and once you're out there in one of these things, I think you're going to struggle to get back on the tarmac anytime soon. You're pretty much going to have to let the whole field pass. That's
right, and just for the viewers that have joined us, tonight's race is they're currently doing a 10-minute warm-up. Then we're going straight into the race here tonight. The race is going to be 23 laps in length. They will have to do a pit stop. Fuel stop is required. Tyres are optional as always. They have got full course cautions on, but I don't think that really works on the road circuit anyway. One fast repair and incident limit of 20. So they're going to have to keep an eye on that. The track state at the moment, it's about 35%, and they're not clearing the marbles between now and the race. So that's all the housekeeping out of the way. All we can do now with 22 seconds is wait for the clock to tick down so we can get on with this race tonight.
Yeah, that's it. And I might ask you, Bernie, what are your if you have to pick a winner tonight, who do you reckon out of these names of in the field that we've got at the moment, not knowing though what the grid positions are.
I'm going to go for Josh Anderson tonight. He's always an exciting driver, and he could get the car up there if it all goes his way. What about you?
Yeah, I might go a dark horse, and although I'm going to cheat now because they've probably just put the grid up. But I might go. I don't know who's up there.
Tell me after I've said the grid, because I've got 40 seconds to do it. Okay, looking at the grid, Michael McCabe will start out of... have I got it right? Well, let's have a look here. That's a bit better. Justin Strickland will start from pole position tonight, followed by Gary Hamilton in second. Third is Joshua Burden, fourth, Jane Normoyle, and then Matthew Trotman will start out of fifth. Sixth is Leskinen, followed by Washington in seventh. Gray will start out of eighth. Ben Daly Jr. out of ninth, and Chris Henderson out of 10th. 11th is Blackhall, followed by Sutton in 12th. 13th is O'Sullivan. Joshua Skin is 14th. 15th is Danny Davison. 16th McCabe, followed by Barron, and we're under starters orders. So that's the grid, folks. Gee, they don't give us much time, do they?
No, green flag, Bernie, and they're underway.
And look at all that smoke here at Phillip Island. So let's see how they go as we see the huge field of cars coming down to Doohan Corner for the first time. Up the back of the pack 5 wide, but we'll keep an eye here and see if the field gets through in one piece. It's looking good so far. Yeah,
we got one up on the grass. That's Sean Watson, the number 24, but he looks like he's out of trouble there. There's a big crash back there. Rob Gray and the 218 cars, about 3 cars off with him, a couple of bent wings, and there's another one in the grass there around the southern loop. So not as clean as we thought, Bernie, as they head into Honda Corner now.
Yeah, and we'll just wait for the cars to come through Honda Corner for the first time. Hold your breath, folks. There's a lot of cars out there, and there's a bit of carnage, as we expected. There's an Evolution Racing Australia car around on the grass.
Yeah, there's Ian Bevan as well in the 69 car there, position 18. They're both waiting now for this huge field to get through.
I'm just going to reset our overlays very quickly so we can bring you all this action and tell you exactly where your favourite driver sits in the field. But a bit of a messy start, it must be said.
Yeah, kind of expected. I think Bernie, as they come down now, is about 3 wide, bit of smoke into the hairpin there at 10 after Lukey Heights, and there's another car off. Marcelo Riviera, one of the more front runners for Evolution Racing, has gone off as well, and Troy Burge is in the pits now.
Yeah, so they come through for the first time, and we have Matthew McCabe in the lead, but Ben Smith is right behind him. Danny Davison is sitting in third. Fourth, Adam Newton, and then a fair ways back we've got Jason Bentz battling with Gary Hamilton. Gary on the inside, Tim Harris just sitting there keeping an eye on these guys. 8th is Nathan Leskinen, 9th is Simon Feigl, and 10th is Darren Marsh.
Now, I'll tell you what, Bernie, my most exciting cameraman here doesn't know where to look in this field. He keeps flipping back and forth. There's that many battles going on at the moment.
Oh, there certainly is, and the field is starting to stretch out a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, still some good little packs here, and it's great to see this many cars going around the island. They're such a good looking car, and my cameraman's just focused on, of all things, the Redback Racing team of Warren Pickering there, and that's quite a nice livery on that car, Bernie.
Oh, fantastic. So he's running the new livery, is he? Last time I looked I couldn't see it, so yeah, if it's the orange one, is it orange and red and all those funny colours?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the new pro driver livery for Redback Racing Team, so it's great to see that debuting here tonight at Phillip Island.
Yeah, and Riley Preston now right up the back of one of the quick beds cars here, coming down on the main straight, and I saw a few of these boys in practice trying to bump draft these things, as we talked about last week, Bernie, and it didn't end all too well. We got a front wind taken off and into the fence there, and Cody Bird, one of the Rat Corp ones as well there. Oh, there's a big off. Justin Strickland, car number 8 in position 13, has had a big off at turn 1.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. Let's jump over here and see if we got a better view. So let's just jump back and have a look at that replay as Justin Strickland comes to terms with his off here. As you can see, he was on the outside there going into Doohan corner. Oh yeah, he got hit. You could say nerfed off the track there, and a big off, but fortunately he pulled it up before he went right across onto the track on the other side.
Yeah, there's a big runoff there, but yeah, as you say, if you go too far, you end up coming out in front of everyone around near Stoner Corner there, and that's not always a good thing. As Cody Bird's gone off now in position 17, he's off at the turn 10 on the inside of that right-hander, as a fair bit of the field's gone around him there. Grant Hines is one of the ones that's benefited from that in the Speed Cafe Formula Renault, as David Jennings has come into the pits as well, Bernie.
Yeah, we're just having a look at the replay here of Cody Bird's incident. Yeah, he just ran out of road pretty much, and is he going to pull it up? He just pulls it up and gets it back on track, so fortunately he got away with that one. A few guys that did not get away with it at the start of the race, there was quite a few offs. The guys affected was Ben Darley Jr., Jeremy Washington, Riley Preston, Josh Burden, Marcelo Rivera, Trent Thomas, all had offs. Cars that had to pit: Joshua Anderson, Matthew Trotman, David Pegler, Nathan Grouden and Troy Burgess. So first lap claimed a few big names out there.
Yeah, definitely. I feel those names to be well familiar with a lot of our viewers over the last few weeks. And looks like a few of them have dropped out or disconnected because too much damage there, Bernie, so it's unfortunate, but such a big field, it's pretty likely that, or the likelihood of an incident is obviously increased a fair amount.
Yeah, and up front at the moment, Michael McCabe has stretched that gap out to 0.5 of a second, and Benjamin Smith's just dropping off a bit, but now he's got that tow, and it's a massive tow here at Phillip Island, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and depending on that wind direction, a tow can really help the trailing cars out around this circuit as well, and definitely got to make use of that draft. And these cars, as the drivers were saying last week, it does make a little bit of a difference, but not as much as what you would expect.
Yeah, they don't get the slipstream like those little skippies do. Those skippies are crazy the way they get into the slipstream.
Yeah, I think the main reason for that on these ones, Bernie, is just because of their aero on these cars is fairly mundane, as in the rear wing angle's not that big and neither is the front, but they're a pretty streamlined looking car, so they don't create a huge hole in the air for the car behind to kind of get a tow, whereas the skippies are a bit more bulky and definitely create that nice little pocket of air for the cars to run through.
You can see at the moment back in 5th, Jason Bentz is defending against Denny Davison back there, and just ahead of him is Gary Hamilton. So Jason in the Laser racing team is got his hands full a little bit, although I must be said Denny has just dropped back a fair bit as they come back onto the main straight here.
Yeah, looks like the top 5 cars have started to build that gap now, Bernie, from the rest of the field, although if we look back, there's not too many car lengths, so yeah, it's nobody really making a huge breakaway for it at the moment, but just I'll run through for the viewers after. We'll do a lap 5 update of the top 10. So we've got Michael McCabe leading at the moment, with Benjamin Smith close behind, Adam Newton in 3rd, Gary Hamilton in 4th, Jason Bentz in 5th, he's 5.7 off our leader, Danny Davidson in 6th, Nathan Leskinen in 7th, Simon Fiegel in 8th, Mitchell Bennett in 9th, and Darren Marsh is rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, and we're just on gyro cam here with Riley Preston, as he had to go the long way around Michael Hammond there, and he's moved up into 13th now, pushing Michael down to 14th. Well, I must say, I'm a bit surprised at how much this field has stretched, spread out so quickly. considering all 49 of these drivers were within 1 second of taking pole here tonight, and but it's definitely spread out a fair bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting the racecraft of certain drivers and the way that some drivers' skill levels are, say, in a pack compared to what they are in a single kind of qualifying session. As Riley's got a good run here, sorry mate, on his opposition there, and he looks like he's going to make the move before he even gets down to turn 1.
Yeah, he's got his teammate right behind him, and so we've got Riley Preston and then Riley Blythe, and look how deep Riley Preston gets that car in. He's diabolical under brakes.
Yeah, well, he was, from the look of that, Bernie, they're taking that first corner pretty much flat in these cars. They're able to, unlike most other cars, you've got to have a fair bit of a lift into there, and yeah, he did quite well to get that move done. He got a great run out of the last corner around 12, and really gave him a good opportunity into Durham corner there.
Yeah, we can see Josh Burden, he's got a fair bit of work to do. He's sitting down in 16th at the moment in the GT Amiga entry, and yeah, fair bit of work there for him in 17 laps. 16th, I wonder how far up the field he can get.
Yeah, that's right, and just going back on that, Bernie, with the qualifying times and the field spreading out, it's a few of those incidents as well when you see them, as Josh had a bit of a lock up there. That can also spread the field out a bit too, where you get a few off tracks and people are slowing down for smoke and everything else, and then that kind of concertina's a field up and allows the cars in front to get ahead a bit.
Yeah, it should close back in once they come into the pits, and I named a few drivers that had to pit at the end of the first lap. It's not too bad because they can use that possibly as their pit stop, and their fast repair all in one, and they should be able to hopefully run to the end of this race.
Yeah, and I dare say these things will be pretty good on tyres, but even though it is a 23 lap race, I don't think their tyres will have any dramas getting around this track, so I don't really think pitting early is going to hurt the car at all. Might even benefit you if you can pit early. You pretty much let the whole field go past and then try and find yourself a bit of a gap, and once the rest of the field starts pitting, you just start gaining positions as long as you can pump out those constant laps.
Yeah, and we just saw Cody Bird there make a fantastic move. Cody was in a bit of trouble earlier on, and he's in 24th now, and trying to make his way through the field.
Yeah, you got the move down there into Honda corner, and just a nice clean move up the inside, a little bit of locking of the front wheels, but yeah, got that move done nice and clean, didn't hurt his run out of that corner at all, and good to see him making a move back through the field.
Yeah, and we just saw there, who was that in front of him going off there in the Speed Cafe entry, and that brings him up into 23rd position.
Yeah, I didn't see who that was, Bernie, but he's under a lot of pressure now as the car behind there, I can't see who that is in the matte black iRacing car, and it looks like he's got a good run on Cody coming up, but he's just going to tuck him behind him round 1.
Yeah, that's Jay Normoyle, and Cody took him under brakes as they went into Honda corner last time through, and Jay's got a good tow there. We've got also Simon Galley, Simone Galley, I guess, I don't know, Simon, 25th at the moment and enjoying his race. Trent Thomas, he's all the way down in 26th at the moment and having a fairly lonely race in the quickbeds.com sponsored car tonight. But let's jump back up to the front, because that's where I'm sure all our viewers want to be. Michael McCabe is still leading this race, 0.3 of a second from Benjamin Smith, and then third Adam Newton, 3.9 seconds down Adam Newton is now, and then 5 seconds down is Gary Hamilton, and then rounding out your top 5 and 7 seconds down is Danny Davison, and Jason Bence is just behind him.
Yeah, and that Evolution Renault of Benjamin Smith looks quite strong tonight, Bernie, and I think he's going to have a good chance of getting this move done in the next few laps. If not straight after the pit stops, he might even try for a bit of an undercut. but he's doing quite well with those pink mirrors and pink wheels. Can't miss it. And yeah, he's definitely looking strong coming into Honda Corner now.
Yeah, he's looking a lot stronger this time through, isn't he? He's closed that gap up, courtesy of that slipstream. But then we'll keep an eye on this, because Michael just starts to pull away from here on up until, you know, coming up through, where are they coming up to now? Lukey Heights, I guess. But yeah, Ben's hanging on to him this lap.
Yeah, and if you can just stay within him, he got close in the draft last lap, so if you can just get a bit closer with him through the rest of this section here up through Lukey Heights, and the final corner here is really critical for your runners. They both lock brakes coming into there, and he's gained a little bit on him. And this section here is quite critical to get you good smooth run out onto the main straight, and you can lose quite a lot of time here if you don't get these last couple of corners right.
He certainly can, and he's got a good run this time though. I think he's going to make a go at this move any time soon, and you can see he's just maxing out his revs. I'm not sure if he's just deciding to sit there or not, but he didn't happen.
Yeah, just going on board now with him, Bernie, just to see if he lifted through that corner, but it's quite hard with these cars being able to go flat chat through there. There's no real chance to go a bit later under brakes into that first corner and get underneath them, so he's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually lifted there and just tucked in, or whether he ran out of revs on that Formula Renault, but he's definitely starting to put the blowtorch on the back of Michael McCabe here, and we have 13 laps to go, 10 laps down.
Yeah, and these two obviously are yet to do their pit stops, Bernie, so it'll be interesting to see if one of them goes in, if the other one will follow suit. Obviously, if Ben goes in, then the leader's going to have to probably go around again. Obviously, he won't be able to get in time, so we'll just see how he goes now. He's closing in on him up through Lukey Heights here, and they look like they're coming up to a bit of lap traffic, so they might even both think about pitting just so that they're not caught up too much with this lap traffic.
Yeah, well, the pit window's definitely opened, isn't it? It's probably pretty much open from first one, but here comes Michael McCabe. He's coming in, and Ben Smith staying out.
Yeah, I tell you, I was just on board with Ben there, and he actually had his left hand down and started to turn to the pits, and almost like a try and balk him out of it, and then the leader ended up pitting. So yeah, this will be quite interesting. He's definitely going to have to come in next lap, I would say, just to make sure that he gets out in a decent gap.
So do you think, you know, it's all conjecture, but do you think that balking might have caused Michael to come in?
Yeah, it could have, because on Ben's onboard, he actually did turn towards the pits quite distinctly, and he might have been watching his mirrors there, and Ben pulled straight in, you know what I mean, and Benjamin's like stayed out, because as soon as our leader turned him into the pit lane, then Ben went straight on. So we'll just see, but Ben's caught the lap traffic now, so he's got to try and either clear this traffic or just stay away from it and not affect his in-lap if he decides to come in this lap, as he's just coming up through Lukey Heights now.
Yeah, Michael McCabe came out in fourth position. His pit stop was a 4.9 second. Gary Hamilton also came in and took a 4.9 second pit stop. Adam Newton 4.6 seconds. Jason Bentz 2.2 seconds. Well, they're the early stoppers there, but Jason Bentz at the moment would have to be one of the fast ones, and here comes Benjamin.
Yeah, and Ben's in now. This is going to have to be a nice efficient stop. I'm sure his pit crew are ready to go, and going to have to get this one nice and smooth. I'm sure the Evolution boys have been practicing all weekend and get this one down pat, because this is going to be quite critical if everyone's on that 4.9 second mark. He's going to come out right on top of our leaders right now.
Yeah, well, Michael McCabe's now just coming onto the straight, and Ben's still sitting there. This could be costly. 5.1 seconds was his stop. Where's he going to come out though?
Yeah, he's going to lose a bit of time. He's going to get up to speed though, and he's out in front at the moment. And he's made that work. He's had a pretty good lap there without getting held up by any of that traffic. So he's managed to get the lead on that pit stop, Bernie.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome going, because he's done that on the track pretty much, because he lost 0.3 of a second in that pit stop.
I tell you what it was, Bernie. Our Michael McCabe did a 1 minute 30 last lap, and on that would have been his out lap, and Ben's done a 126 on his in lap, so that was a fair bit of difference there, mate, for the pit stop, and obviously it's given him that little margin that he's been able to take a little bit more fuel as well.
Yeah, and most of the field has had their stop. There's still probably about 5 out there running, but your top 5 at the moment, Benjamin Smith is in the lead, Michael McCabe second, Gary Hamilton sitting in third, followed by Adam Newton in fourth, fifth Jason Bentz, and then sixth, here comes Josh Anderson. I think I said he was going to win this race, didn't I?
I won't quote you on it, but it possibly may have got a mention before the race.
Yeah, and who did you call by chance?
I might have called Benjamin Smith.
Oh yeah, of course you did.
No, I didn't get a chance, mate. They dropped the green light on me as Ben did a 29.7 on his outlap compared to Michael's one before. So yeah, he's definitely made up some time there, Bernie, with his in and out lap.
Yeah, we can see Danny Davidson here. He's having a terrific battle with Riley Preston, 2 wide into Doohan Corner here, and 2 wide again. Danny's pushing the ERA to go wide, and that's a battle here for 8th and 9th position.
I'll tell you what, there's a big group of cars behind them too, Bernie, as they get nearly touch wheels there coming into Honda. Oh, this is going to be crazy. Crazy. So they both go side by side through here, 2 cars wide. There's a car in front there, or Riley runs a bit wide there, and he's just going to have to back out of it and stick him behind him again.
Yeah, I don't think Riley had much of a choice. There was no track for him to hang on to. And then further back we have another battle, don't we? We've got Riley Blythe and his teammate Jake Blackhall, and they're chasing down Troy Burgess.
Yeah, I tell you what, poor old Darren Marsh here up in front of those two in 7th position. Oh, as they might have had contact there, Bernie, as Evolution car goes through, and poor old Darren Marsh was all in the middle, caught up in the middle of that battle.
Yeah, he certainly was, and just having a look further back in the field, Danny Davison, Mitchell Bennett's up there, and it's very busy down here.
Yeah, well, Danny got on wide down 10 there. They touched wheels coming into 10 and 11 and pushed Danny up the track a little bit, but managed to maintain it. But that's lost him a big chunk of time round onto the main straight, and obviously Michael Bennett's taken advantage of that. Yeah, it's a big group of cars mid-pack there from about about 7th all the way through to almost 13th or 14th, Bernie.
Troy Burgess at the moment, he's just had Jake Blackhall go through, but Jake's, was that Riley Blythe running really wide there, and he had to give that position back to Troy.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of ERA cars out here tonight, Bernie, so they definitely got a lot of hands in the hat, and good to see a big showing from quite a large team, and obviously a lot of their drivers quite interested in the new Formula Renault. It's good to see a lot of teams with a lot of multiple entries, as Riley there really under pressure.
Certainly is, and meanwhile Jake Blackhall, he's putting the pressure onto, as I jump around, Josh Burden here, and we've got a car on the infield. There was a blue and white car.
Yeah, that's Rob Gray, mate, the 218. I don't know what happened to him there, but he's taken the short, long way around that final complex of corners, and I dare say he's picked up a few pebbles and possibly bent a floor pan on that thing.
Yeah, we're just having a look at him now as he's gassing it up, and he's pretty much just lost that. Very rare to see a car spinning like that under power.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just like he lost all grip on the rear there in the aero, and it just went round. It's quite strange.
Yeah, it's especially strange for an open wheeler. We don't see that very much, but while this battle is going on further down, let's get back to where we were. I've had to lower my voice, folks, because I live in an apartment and I found myself yelling just then, and I don't want any complaints. But Ben Smith is leading the way at the moment, or is he? Let's have a look. Yes, he is. Jake Blackhall is in the pits as well. So at the moment, Ben Smith is your leader, followed by Michael McCabe. He's managed to get a bit of a gap now, and he'll be looking at trying to break that slipstream pretty shortly. Gary Hamilton still second, fourth, Adam Newton, and Jason Bent's fifth. Josh Anderson is still in sixth position.
Yeah, you got Riley Preston in seventh, Benny Davidson in eighth, and Simon Fiegel in ninth. And you have Riley Blinth in 10th, if I pronounce that right, and that's your top 10 with about 7 laps to go, Bernie.
We just saw there Troy Burgess and Riley Blythe rubbing wheels. I tell you what, you've got to be a brave man if you want to start rubbing wheels in open wheelers, don't you?
Yeah, definitely, and I'm sure our viewers are aware of a few incidents over time throughout Formula 1 and Formula 4 and everything else where they can end up locking wheels and one car ends up on its lid. So yeah, you definitely got to be pretty careful. But as we said at the top of the broadcast, they are pretty sturdy little cars, these things. So as long as the wheel-to-wheel's kind of flat, it doesn't seem to do too much damage to them.
Yeah, and Troy Burgess is having a great run. This guy basically stepped up from the Skip Barbers, who was running Skippies, and decided to jump in this, and he's really finding his feet in this class as he's now up to 9th position. So he's gained 2 positions in this lap.
Yeah, it's good to see some of the boys moving up from the entry level into the next level, Bernie, with the release of the Renault. A few of the boys obviously would work their way up into the Mazda in the previous seasons, and now that we've got this beautiful Formula Renault, seems to be attracting a lot more young drivers or young and old really, up from the skippies into the next level, which is good to see, because you can always get the basics in a skippy. It's always good to learn your racecraft, and then to bring it up into something that's a bit quicker with a bit more downforce, exactly like you would in real life, is good to see.
Certainly was, it certainly is, and while you were talking there, Riley Blythe and Simon Feigl, the 2 ERA boys tangled wheels, and Simon ended up finding the infield there, so a bit of a racing incident going on there for ERA tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like unfortunately Simon Fiegel's run out of luck with the front nose, and he's got a bit of free air conditioning into the front of that car, which won't be helping his aero at all, but might find it a bit understeery, but it looks a bit funny, more like a go-kart now, Bernie, without a front nose piece and wing on that thing.
Yeah, a bit like a go-kart after a great white shark has taken the front off it, but we'll see if he continues on. He is. So with 5 laps to go, he's in 16th, so maybe he's just trying to consolidate that position.
Yeah, he doesn't look like it's affecting him too much. The car seems still pretty stable, but might be a telling point into turn 1 here. He might get a harsh surprise when he turns it in flat stick, and just having a look now, and it seems pretty stable. It's surprising, so that's good news for him. With as you say, 5 laps to go, he'll try and get the thing out there and get a result.
Yeah, it's very surprising. He actually attacked that corner at 233 kilometres an hour, so that's confidence in your car, isn't it? Especially when you're missing the whole front nose.
Yeah, definitely, and just in front of him, Nathan Groden and one of the other cars use that. Sam Sutton having a good little battle as well. These boys have been going out most of the race, I think, in the 00, Sam Sutton. So yeah, good to see some battles still going on there.
And up front, Ben Smith is still leading the way, but Michael McCabe is 0.3 of a second closer now, so it'll be interesting with 5 laps to go as he closes that gap under slipstream. It'll be interesting to see when Michael shows his hand. I guess, you don't want to be leading coming onto Gardner Straight, do you?
No, I dare say you want to be the car in behind, Bernie, but again, with the cars going flat out through one there, it's very hard to make that slipstream work. You need to get that move done, obviously, about halfway down Gardner Straight and try and tuck in back in front of them before you have to turn in. Otherwise, you go too narrow through turn one there, you'll end up on the infield somewhere, or you'll scrub off too much speed and allow the other car to go back. As we've got Joshua Anderson here under attack from the Laser Renault behind him, and this is for 5th and 6th place here, so top 5 finish on the line. And these boys have also had a battle pretty much all race, and looks like after the pit stops it's on for young and old with the last couple of laps.
It certainly is, and Darren Marsh and Mitchell Bennett here in 10th and 11th are also having a good battle here. Darren just took that position from Mitchell, but they're very close, and Mitchell looks like he wants to have a go back at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking real racy in behind him there, and he's not close enough to throw the nose in here, but this is where we'll see the slipstream, as Darren had a bit of a lock-up, we'll see the slipstream work its magic down this Gardner Straight again.
We'll jump on board with Mitchell as we go down here, and you'll just see how quickly that slipstream's starting to take effect. Already they're not at the start-finish line, and he's gained quite probably 6 car lengths as he goes through. That's telling, folks, because in 3 laps' time, Mitchell McCabe is going to attempt, if he's still behind Benjamin, that very same move.
Yeah, and he was flat stick through there. Bernie side by side, did not lift at all through one, and that's what we were talking about before. With they're able to hold it flat even in the draft, and you can hold that position, but you need to get that move done as he did before that first corner. As he gets attacked up the inside, he's gone real deep under brakes there, but he's going to get the over and under.
He certainly is, and he's going to be forced on the outside this time, though, as Mitchell keeps that position.
Yeah, and I was just on board, and I didn't even see him come, Bernie, and all of a sudden this car appeared out the right-hand side, so I'm sure he had the same idea when he looked in his mirror and saw that car come up through.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's not a lot of what do you call it, side view in these open wheelers, but that's also allowing Riley Blythe to start to close in on these guys.
Anytime you get a battle up ahead, it normally slows down those couple of cars as they come onto the main straight now, and side by side again as they're going to try and have a drag race all the way down Gardner Straight this time.
Yeah, and it's who blinks first. I think if you could see underneath those tinted visors, they'd have eyes as wide as saucepans at the moment, and probably a grin from ear to ear.
Yeah, definitely they'll be having a lot of fun out there, the boys, and battles like this always are entertaining, not just for the viewers but for the drivers as well. They love the kind of action that this involves back and forth.
Yeah, that's right. It gives them a story to tell over a couple of beers. And at the moment, Darren Marsh, he's sitting behind Mitchell Bennett, and he's just trying to... I'm laughing because of what's written on the side of Darren Marsh's car, but he's just trying to size him up at this stage. And we've got 2 laps to go at the moment. Mitchell McCabe is right on the hammer now of Ben Smith, but I don't think he's wanting to make a move just yet.
Yeah, it looks like that gap closed right in as Ben just did a bit of a blink there, but this is a draft in effect, and he's pulled out of the draft and he's side by side into one, as we just saw with that other battle, and he's got the move done coming into one.
Yeah, so he made a liar out of me. I thought he was going to hang back in there, but he's decided he wants to take that lead, and Ben Smith's also got a few internet connection issues going on behind him. Let's hope that holds out for this last lap here at Phillip Island. Yeah,
definitely. He'll be fingers and toes crossed as he comes in on the corner, but this is going to make his battle hard as well, Bernie. He'll be thinking about his connection and might just lose concentration for a bit, and it's going to make him have a bit more of a difficult time to try and get this move done if he doesn't really know where the other car is either.
Yeah, and Michael might have timed that move perfectly, because if he was behind Ben Smith when that flashing goes on, it could have made his life a lot harder. But at the moment, coming over Lukey Heights for the last time, Michael McCabe's leading Ben Smith here. Ben's looking on the inside. It's a bit hard to tell where he is because he's flashing in and out, and he's hopefully...
He's got one corner.
Yeah, and we can't really see him because where is he? He's just out of camera view now.
Yeah, he's about a car length behind Bernie. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. It'll be close though. Oh, he's trying to get that last draft. This is going to be a real close finish. He gets second place, and his connection held out.
And Gary Hamilton comes home third here at Phillip Island, followed by Adam Newton, his teammate. Then Josh Anderson home in fifth. Sixth, Jason Bentz, Danny Davison and Troy Burgess comes home in seventh. Eighth is Darren Marsh, followed closely by Mitchell Bennett, and Riley Blythe home in 10th position. So fantastic race out there.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, Michael Cave was the winner there that we missed out on calling that last little thing. So yeah, great win by Michael, and good to see that move, as you say, Bernie. Made it right at the right time there, just on the penultimate lap, just to get that done and be able to stay in front. But that was a really close finish. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, it certainly was, and he decided to go, and it's probably good timing on his behalf to go when he did, because that's when Ben Smith's internet started playing up.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of the most difficult things about online sim racing, is when you do have a car that's got a few connection issues, you just don't know. Yeah, they can disappear mid-corner, or they get up beside you and disappear, and you've just got to hold your line because you just have no idea where they are. So yeah, it would have made it quite hard for him if he was following, but luckily for him, he got out in front and was able to stay there.
Yeah, he's very good move indeed. But let's go through the full race results, folks, so you can see where your favourite drivers are finished tonight. So Michael McCabe wins at Phillip Island, followed by, very closely, 1/10 of a second, Benjamin Smith in second. Gary Hamilton home in third with his teammate Adam Newton in fourth. Josh Anderson, after that first lap incident, managed to get up to fifth. Jason Bentz in sixth. Seventh was Danny Davison, followed by Troy Burgess in eighth. Ninth, Darren Marsh, and 10th was Mitchell Bennett.
Yeah, we've got 11th is Riley Blitz, who had that good battle earlier on. Tim Harris in 12th. Sam Sutton in 13th, and Nathan Groden in 14th. 15th is Simon Fiegel. So those guys were that mid-pack battle that we watched a fair bit there, Bernie. So those guys had some good little fights all the way through. Anthony Wickman in 16th. Nathan Leskinen in 17th. David Jennings in 18th. Mark Rayner in 19th. And Ryan O'Sullivan is the top 20.
21st, Cody Bird, followed by Warren Pickering in 22nd. 23rd, Riley Preston, and 24th was Chris Henderson. 25th, Ryan Harris, followed by Justin Strickland in 26th. Then we had Martin Silvassi, followed by Matthew Barron in 28th. Marcelo Rivera 29th, and Trent Thomas came home in 30th.
Yeah, and 31st was Andrew Kiss, Josh Burden in 32nd. 33rd was Matthew Torn, followed by Sean Watts in 34th. Michael Hammond in 35th. Ben Darley Jr. in 36th. Jay Norman in 37th. Simon Gelly in 38th. And David Pegler in 39th. And Jeremy Washington in 40th. AJ Bear was in 41st, and he was the last of the cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, then we had Grant Hines home in 42nd, followed by Rob Gray, 1 lap down. Ian Bevan down there in 44th. Jake Blackhall, 8 laps down, 45th. Robert Hooper, 11 laps down, and classified in 46th. 47th was Lance Perkins, 20 laps down, and then Sam Katacasinos and Josh Skin, they look like they retired on the first lap.
Yes, so that's your full field of 49 cars, Bernie, and looks like your connection, everything held up, which is good. And that was some great racing, and the whole field there, pretty much everyone that finished on the lead lap was fairly close, so it was good.
Yeah, so let's bring up our second place getter Benjamin Smith, and we'll have a quick chat with him. Hi Ben, welcome to RRTV's Combox, and that internet connection issue that looked pretty bad that last lap, was it making your life a bit difficult?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but up until that point, it was really good racing. It was like a pressure cooker up the front, so yeah, glad to bring home second.
Yeah, we were watching you slipstream behind Michael McCabe earlier in the race, and I wasn't sure whether you were actually lifting at that point or whether you were at max revs in that Formula Renault. Can you tell the viewers what exactly was going on?
Throughout the practice, I realised that it was going to be really, really tight on making it to that 13th lap, I think it was. And throughout the practice, I was seeing that we were starting to run out of fuel in the pit lane, so losing a bit of time there. So I thought I would just stay half throttle behind Michael for the first stint and try and save those maybe 2 or 3 100 mils of fuel. So that worked out well for me. I got an extra lap, and I just wasn't able to capitalise on it and all gap.
Yeah, and what happened? Well, let's go back through the race. Tell the viewers how your race went firstly, and then tell us what was going through your mind on that final lap.
Yeah, so off the start, it was where Michael and I were really lucky that the cars behind were battling, and we were able to bridge a gap out to the rest of the field. So we kind of ran a race of our own, and there was a bit of mutual respect, knowing that if we battled, we'd get involved in a battle with more cars. So we used that to our advantage in breaking a gap and making sure that it was just a 2-car battle for the win. Yeah, so coming out of the pits, I just wasn't far ahead enough to break the slipstream from Michael, so I just pushed as hard as I could, made sure there was a big enough gap to the cars behind, so that when we started fighting on the second last lap, that we wouldn't get involved with more cars. So yeah, I just wanted to try and keep track position, but unfortunately that didn't work out today.
Yeah, and we saw when you came into the pits the first time, it looked like Luke actually called it. It looked like you were faking coming into the pits, and we were wondering if that's what actually brought Michael in. But I guess we'll have to wait and ask Michael that question.
Yeah, I was keen to see if he was going to pit. My plan was to go 1 lap longer and try and overtake him when I thought he was going to pit. But I got my numbers wrong, and I messed up, so I wasn't ahead of him when he dove in the pits. So yeah, no, it wasn't a fake for me. It was just seeing what he was doing.
Fair enough. And anyway, I'm going to hand you over to Luke Emerton now and see if Luke's got any further questions for you.
Yeah, hang on, Ben. I was just curious with the draft. It seemed pretty strong down there tonight with the wind and everything as well. And it's pretty crazy. Everyone was holding it pretty much flat stick through one, and it's pretty hard to make a move round one. How do you find following another car around the track there when you're having a good battle?
I actually didn't find it too bad compared to the Star Mazda and the Skip Barber. I feel like the draft doesn't start from as far back, so you're looking at about probably 0.6 of a second. In terms of aero push, it's more so if you're right up close. I think there's a little bit, but all in all, it's actually not too bad. The aero push when you're behind another car, you don't get too much understeer in the faster corners. But yeah, I guess if I was in a bit more of a battle with a few more cars, it would have been a bit more interesting into turn one at some points. But just in the position I was in, I was just sticking in behind Michael or just leading Michael.
Yeah, and did you find the setup a bit better this week? I know a few of the drivers had a few understeering problems last week, and the setup seemed a lot better this week. Not driving it myself, but just seeing the cars on track, they seemed a lot more stable this week.
Yeah, I did find there was a bit of an improvement from round one. I didn't actually get to do round two, so I'm not sure what it was like there. But I know at Phillip Island there's a lot of the faster corners, so you're always worried that the cars are just going to push on when you turn the wheel. But it wasn't the case today. The brake balance is pretty good, and you're able to keep the understeer in check. And it was a lot of fun driving the Renault around Phillip Island.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, we enjoyed a full field of 49 cars around there, and they look real good, and they seem like they suit this circuit a fair bit. So, is there any sponsors or anything you'd like to thank before we let you go for this evening? Yeah,
thanks to the boys at the ERA, our sponsors, Demidov Innovations, Maverick Welding, and Auto Loan Centre. It's good having them on board, and so I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
No worries, mate. Well, congratulations again on second place, and we will see you next week.
No worries. And a massive congrats to Michael as well on the win.
So next up we have Gary Hamilton. So I'll bring him up if you want to start that interview.
Yeah, where did he finish tonight? Burning. I just don't have my results up at the moment.
Third. And
No worries.
he had his teammate right behind him in fourth.
No dramas at all. Evening, Gary, and welcome to the RRTV commentary box. Congratulations on your third place podium finish tonight. How did your race go, bud?
G'day, Luke, Bernie. Yeah, thanks for that. Good race. Started out a little wild. Qualified. I think it was fifth. And when it's this close, it's not too bad. I think the pace was there. Didn't quite get the lap together, so I knew it was going to be close for the race. Basically, I put myself in the hole there on the start. Got an okay start. And just trying to protect the position, really. Tried to hold the outside of turn 2. And cold tyres and these things and offline. It's very slippery. I knew it was, and I was just trying to take it easy, but I did get a bit of a moment and had to hesitate on the throttle. And then with this car, if you're late on the throttle, they don't have much torque or anything, and you just get gobbled up. So coming out the next straight, I think I lost 3 positions just out of that. And then made it, it was pretty good fun battle to get those spots back, and ended up with third. I was pretty happy with.
Yeah, I saw you started the race next to your teammate again and was running with him a fair bit throughout the race, which we've seen over the last few weeks. You and your, I think it's Adam there, running side by side. You guys obviously pretty strong pairing, and obviously helps with the draft as well when you can, on a track like this where you can help each other out. Yeah,
definitely, and we can obviously talk to each other, so we're not going to fight each other, slow each other down, but we'll certainly race each other. And with the tow, these things are surprising. They definitely don't have the tow that the All-Star Mazda had, or some other types of cars have. So you really got to be close. So even a second, it's probably not good enough. You've got to be within the second, depending on the track, and then you can start to pick it up. So I managed to finally break that tow from that battle pack that I had, with a really good battle there with Danny and Jason Vance. So good on those guys. We were really close, and I don't think we hit each other once, so that was great. But managed to break the tow, and then just pulled Adam in. He was doing an excellent job though, really quick. Got him in the tow, and then just coming out of the pits, I think he got it either held up or maybe a small mistake. And he was about a second and a half back, and then he just stayed there the whole time. So our pace was very, very similar. Even with the front guys, I was watching the gap. I was really hoping they were going to come together, but I couldn't do anything about the gap. It was too much by then.
Yeah, those guys were pushing pretty hard, and they did have a few close calls, but again, some fairly clean racing we saw most of the nights, most of tonight and last week obviously as well. And just seems like everyone's getting to grips with the car, and also with such a big field, we expect a little bit of contact. There was a few cars mid-pack and towards the back that had a few little offs here and there, but overall it was a pretty good race. So how did you find the setup this week? We were just talking before, and to Josh, and he said it was fairly good, considering from the first week he said he raced it. It's a bit of an improvement, and you raced last week as well, so how did you find it after last week?
Yeah, definitely improvement. You could really notice the change. Whether there was any change in the actual setup, or whether the setup just suited this track a bit better, I don't know. But the car had a little bit more sort of rotation, especially on the throttle. So even to the point, like the setup used to be just sort of get it slowed up, turned in, and on the throttle 100% as early as possible. But now it gets that nice bit of rotation, and a lot of these corners you weren't actually flat. Corners that you think you'd be flat. But if you had the line, slightly wrong, or the tyres maybe a bit old or cold, you'd get a slide going, which is really good. A much better thing to drive. I suppose if anything, it has a lot of front brake bias, so you probably would have seen a lot of people locking fronts. And unfortunately, when you sort of grab that front, it really doesn't want to turn in. You've got the front sort of locked, and you're braking a bit late. So. Other than that, though, definite improvement, and I really enjoyed that time. It was good fun.
Yeah, it seems like a good car track combo, the Renault around Phillip Island, and definitely it looked pretty stable throughout the broadcasts as well. And once the field kind of sorted itself out, there wasn't a lot of cars spearing off, or they all looked pretty connected to the road. And even one of the ERA cars lost its front wing, and he still went 235 k's through turn 1 flat stick and didn't seem to understeer at all. So yeah, it was quite good. And is there any sponsors or anything you'd like to thank before we let you go for tonight, Gary?
Yeah, mate, big shout out to Elements out there, Houston Belt Engineering, and Win the Day. So, as always, Win the Day. G'day, Chris. I know you're out there listening. Look them up on Facebook. They're a cancer awareness group that do an awesome clothing line. Selling some really rad hats, and I think some shirts are about to come out. So get on there and check it out. Win the Day, and you guys as well, RRTV, allowing this to happen. It's always really good to get on there and have us diggy beat. So well done. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
See you then.
Our final driver interview tonight is Josh Anderson. We'll bring him up and see exactly what happened on that first lap. Hi Josh, welcome to RRTV. It looks pretty hectic out there tonight, and I'm not sure if you were involved in that first lap incident or not.
Oh, it was interesting to say the least. Because I only got one lap in qualifying for reasons outside of my control, I started back in 23rd, 22nd or whatever it was, and it actually helped me. I was up to 14th by the end of the first lap, although I pitted on the first lap, which is what I was going to do anyway. Yeah, but it was certainly enjoyable.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to be too bad, because once the field cleansed itself, you were sitting there in about 6th or 7th, and you managed to work your way up from there.
Yeah, Phillip Island's one of those tracks. For some reason, I don't know why, but it takes a lot of time for me to get good pace here. So, but close to the end of the race, I was fairly I think I was lapping pretty much the exact same time as the leaders. I don't know if they were battling or something, but it seemed pretty good for me. So, but early on, I was really inconsistent and just slow in general.
Yeah, so what was that? You just didn't have your mind on the job, or were you nervous, or what do you think caused you to just be off that pace?
I don't know. I guess some days, some tracks, you're not mentally in it. And to be honest, to come I think it was 5th is it's a win for me.
Yeah, well, we were having a bit of a bet up here before the race started, and you were my favourite to win this race tonight. So
that would have been fun from 22nd. Yeah, a bit ambitious.
Oh, well, we didn't look at the grid, you see. We just had to pick a name. I actually picked a name, but Luke Emerton, well, he didn't. He actually picked Ben Smith to win the race at about lap 20 or something. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so before we let you go, Josh, do you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors?
Yeah, the usual, Rack Corp, all the guys at All Star Motorsports, as per usual.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, and we hope to see you back on the track next week. Not sure where we're running, but I'm sure it'll be exciting.
I've got no idea.
All right, good night.
So up to date.
And yeah, I cut that interview a bit short, didn't I? I ran out of questions, but let's cross over to race control, and we'll just have a chat with them and see if there's any incidents under review.
Yeah, I think that was Matt Wilkins was our race controller tonight, mate.
Hi Matt, welcome to RRTV commentary box. It looks like you might have been a little bit busy in race control there tonight.
Yeah, I have no idea. I had 6 drive-through penalties, 5 actually given, 1 not given because the driver didn't return to the track. So, mate, that was insane. Really, just doing it myself, it's a lot to do. So, yeah. Do we go through each of the drivers for you guys? Is that what you want?
Oh yeah, just give us a brief report on if there's any drivers under investigation, that sort of thing.
There's nothing to be taken post-race. Everything has been dealt with. So I don't know if you guys picked up. I didn't actually have their names written down. I just got their car numbers. We got car 55, 021, then 012, 69 and 214. So they're the 5 cars that received penalties tonight. And the majority was actually for lap 1 incident problems, and then there was a few scattering here and there, but I feel like it was all pretty well covered. Did you guys see anything wasn't dealt with anyway?
No, nothing at all. We saw the few big incidents on the first lap, which we were sort of expecting anyway, with the field size of 49 drivers. But overall, I thought the race looked pretty clean.
Yeah, after we got through that early stages, and everyone filtered out into the line of traffic, I think it did become a lot better. Just 1 or 2 things in there. I do want to give a mention though to Cody Bird and Chris Henderson, I think it is. I did catch them for a few laps going side by side for most of those 2 laps that I saw them. So I just want to commend them for some good racing. Didn't even touch. Good to see some drivers racing side by side and not having any problems. You know, that's great from my point of view.
Yeah, and we saw Troy Burgess there being taking to 2 ERA cars and some fantastic close racing there, and no touches either, apart from when the 2 ERA cars tangled. But apart from that was good racing too.
Yeah, it's good to sometimes come in here saying, oh, we've got all these drive-throughs that we've given out, but on the other hand, there's, like you said, there's such a large field. It's good to see that quite a lot of the drivers, big majority, didn't have any problems and raced really clean. So
yeah, no,
always a positive.
Yeah, it was a professional level race, that's for sure, which is what we'd expect at the top split. So well done to all the drivers out there, and a big well done to you. 49 cars, 1 person. Yeah, you're going to be dreaming about these cars tonight.
Yeah, I'll have incidents and crashes and people going upside down my dreams tonight, that's for sure. I'll wake up all hot and sweaty.
Fair enough. All right, well, we better let you go, Matt.
Yep, thanks, guys. Thanks for the call.
No worries.
And we're just going to get a report from Split 2, and that is Brent Tucker. Hi Brent, welcome to RRTV's Combox. You were racing in Split 2 tonight. Split 1 was a good race. How did Split 2 turn out?
Split 2 was actually fairly clean. I didn't come across too many incidents where I was. I actually managed to surprise myself. I decided with 10 minutes left of practice again to do the race at the last minute. So I managed to put it on P2 in Split 2, which I was pleasantly surprised with. And managed to come home in 8th, so made a couple small silly errors and spun, but I had the pace of top 3, top 5, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and we had 49 up in this split. Was it the same amount in your race?
I think it was 44, between 44 and 48, I can't remember off the top of my head. Think that's roughly about how many it was. I know there was a fairly hefty big first lap shunt, as always, when you have 40 odd cars on the grid at Phillip Island, so to be expected, really.
Yeah, well, it's definitely to be expected when you've got that number on the track. So have you got the podium that you can let the viewers know what the podium was for that race? I
know that top 2, it was Brett Hender from Tryhards in P1, and then Gavin Sadler in P2. I'm sorry to P3, I cannot remember who it was for the life of me.
Oh man, what sort of on-the-spot reporter are you, Brant?
I'm sorry, Bernie, I'm letting you down again. I promise I'll improve.
No, it's actually good to have someone from Split 2 pop in and just give us the results, so it's great. And did you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors that's backed all your cars tonight? Because I noticed you had a couple of your cars up in the top split here.
Yeah, we had 3 of the guys in tops. Josh managed to make it by doing 1 lap, so it kind of is, I don't know how he does it, but yeah, anyway, huge thanks to those guys in top split. RAPCorp, K-Centric and Unmetered Service as well for their ongoing and continued support of All Star Motorsports.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, mate, and best of luck next week. I want to see your car in the top split. No pressure.
Yeah, well, unfortunately that won't be happening. I'm only doing this because I managed to have tonight off firefighting duties, but unfortunately that picks up again next week, so no more frack for me, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame. But anyway, you've got a few good drivers up here in the top split, and I'm sure they'll fly the flag for All Star Motorsports.
Yeah, and Brock Creamer was actually in position 3 in split 2. Thank you to Mr. Race Control Man Ben in the YouTube chat there.
Fantastic. All right, Brent. Well, thanks for popping in, and best of luck with your firefighting duties next week.
Cheers, thanks guys.
So, Luke, that was one heck of a race, mate. And have you got any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, just can't wait for next week and really enjoying calling this series. And if the results stay the same with some big fields and just qualifying within a second, covering the whole 49 cars, and we should be in for some great viewing. And good to see a lot more viewers on there tonight watching us. And yeah, spread the word, and we enjoy broadcasting these races for everyone.
Yeah, this series definitely has the making of becoming something pretty special for the open wheeler races down here in Oceania, or in fact possibly anywhere in the world. If there's anyone interested in racing from overseas, they can always contact the race coordinators, and that's Trent Thomas. But yeah, I thought it was a very professionally run race by everyone out there tonight. There was quite a bit of carnage, but there was also a lot of close and good driving going on.
Yeah, it definitely was, and as we saw, there wasn't a lot of incidents that were like unavoidable. It was all pretty much just a couple of racing incidents, and with such a big field, I think they did quite well not to have any more major kind of pile-ups, really, and all the drivers can be commended for their efforts tonight and getting through that kind of a pack race kind of thing without too many dramas.
Yeah, that's right. And folks, if you're into your GT3 action, we have the SEK Queensland is going to Sebring. Let's start that again. SEK Queensland GT3 Championship are going to Sebring on Sunday, and it will be a 6-hour endurance race. They'll be allowed to have 2 drivers, and that's going to be something to see. We will be covering the first 2 hours of that, starting at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Remember, daylight savings ends that day, so that's going to throw us all out. And there'll be a mid-race report, plus the last 2.5 hours of the race will be covered live. So if you like your GT3s, tune in this Sunday afternoon. But apart from that, I'm going to have a bit of a rest now, and we'll see you all back here on Sunday. I'd also like to thank all our viewers out there. It's fantastic to have you all on board and having a look at our broadcast tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the racing lived up to its expectations, or your expectations, and as we said, if you like it and you know some other people that might enjoy watching us, just let them know, because we're trying to grow our small broadcasting channel here. But anyway, Luke, I'd like to also thank you for jumping in the comm box. As always, it's been a pleasure commentating with you.
Yeah, no worries, Bernie, and just let the viewers know I'll try and get up on that for that sec if we end up doing it. I might be able to get another camera angle for you guys, might be able to start streaming as well, so another thing for our viewers to look forward to. We'll be able to have 2 points of view on the race, an in-car one for my car during a stint, as well as your own commentary, mate, so we'll see how that works out anyway. Yeah,
well, if that's going to be a goer, let us know, because I'll definitely be interested in crossing over to you, and also the viewers may be able to watch you while we are having a break, which would be pretty good as well, so that would be fantastic. But anyway, viewers, once again, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm getting tired, and on behalf of Luke Emerton, I'm Bernie Weemers, and thanks for tuning into RRTV. I hope you have a good evening, and see you on Sunday.